Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today I'm working on month 11 and it's week 42 into the process of me working this. And I'm telling you what, it's coming together stinking adorable. So let's look down here and I'll show you some areas of that might be a little bit hard for you, or I should say you need to focus on. So right here, let me slide these because I don't want to put them in backwards. Done that once today already. So here's your F5 block. You've got F5C down in here, and as you can see, it's pretty tough to lay everything flat. I got it as flat as I absolutely could, and it's all lined up. And then your F6 is fine, but you're going to have to make sure that this junction and this one all line up. It's really important. So let me flip this over and show you. Right in here is where all that bulk is. And you'll thank me for telling you about it, because when you look across the mapping, right here now we're coming up into the center of the vortex. This block and this block is where we're at right now, and we're starting to get into that black, and this is the spin of it. So we're starting down into what they call that hole of the vortex, and it's going to be really cool. So let me get these joined together. Like I said, don't mind all the paper mess. It's like paper machete over here. So we're going to take and pinch everywhere that you can, just till you get this puppy lined up. And we're going to wiggle it in. And we're going to come down here and make sure that we've got our black lined up, because we really want that to come in right where it's supposed to. And then we've got this wine color, berry color. You want to pull it tight there as well. You know you have everything lined up when you put a pin in the corner and everything lines up. So if you're not sure, just stick a pin straight down through it, and it, as you can see, mine comes in nice and handy. So I'm not going to have to change anything on that end. And this is where our blacks are going to come in. So I'm not going to worry there. And I've got all of this lined up. So let me get comfortable in my chair and we'll get this one sewn in. So I'm going to back tack as always in place, just to lock that stitch. And we're going to go nice and slow. I'm at that where I need it to meet. I'm at the next spot where I need it to meet. And then I'm at the third. We're coming down on the bottom, and I'll go ahead and pop that pin now. We can go ahead and snip it, open it up, and as you can see, everything lined up exactly where it needed to. This is starting into the center of this black, into the spinning of the vortex. So that, I'm telling you, it's so cool. When you're working it, you're like, oh my goodness, what did I get into? Or this challenged me, but I'm loving it. I think as quilters, we all need that. We got to challenge ourselves periodically, and that's how we grow. And just that one little tiny piece, as long as you can get that seam good and flat, and I got it as flat as I could, it all lined up just fine. We're going to flip it over. And I'm telling you what, these tweezers, I'm telling you what, Cranky Kangaroo showed them on one of her channels, on one of her videos, and I'm telling you what, it's been a game changer. You can get right up into all those little nooks and crannies. So I'm going to press it open. I'm just going to give it a little snug, because there's going to be a lot of bulk here, so you have to work with it and see which way it's going to lay. If you have nails, now would be a good time to lay them in those seams and just wiggle them down through. Finger press them, so when you go to give them the good press, it's going to lay nice and tidy for you. Come right down in here and finger press it all the way down this seam. Bring it over to the ironing board. And I'm going to let it lay there on that seam for just a second because I want it to heat it up really good. Then I'm going to flip it over and give it a good pressing. So now that come in nice and tidy. And as you can see, everything looks nice. So now we're going to take this section, and this is our E6 and F6. I mean our E5, E6, F5, F6, and we're going to join these together. And at each month, I highly recommend, to save you doing it at the end, go ahead and get started. If you haven't started piecing them together on the weeks that you have nothing else to do, that would be a good time to go ahead and get everything joining. That way when it's time to do the final video or final block, you've got everything already done and ready to go. So pin this one in place because, as you know, I don't have any paper on that back one. And it's going to have a little bit of give to it. So you can kind of manipulate it where you need it to go. Let me roll it over and do it this way. That way I can show you a little bit better. So right here, I need this one to line up right there. I'm going to have a little bit of stretch here. And then this one needs to line up right there. So as we're working these in, take your time. There's no rush on this. And anywhere that you know it just has to line up, give it a little clip. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this first pin out. And we're going to slide in, back tack it in place. And just pull your fabric just a little bit. And that's going to work out any little kinks or anything. If you give it a little bit of pressure, that'll all work in place. Like right here, I need this one to line up. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of bulk here, and that's okay. Because all I'm going to do is start feeding it in and letting it, let the machine do the work for you. Just take your time. Stay true to your 1/4 inch, and you won't have any buckles in there. So now I've got this one. My paper shifted soon as I let that little booger go. And then just like I said, let the machine do the work for you. Back tack in place. And it's all locked in. So now we're going to lay this down and finger press it in. Let me get my tweezers. And sometimes you have strings in there, so be careful what you pull. You don't want to pull a bunch of strings out and then your quilt's going to come apart. So wiggle down in and just get what you need. And as you can see, right in there, that's sewed in. But there's no way you can't get it out. You have to. So just use your tweezers and pluck it out. Get that one. Get that one. And it's done. So let me come over here. We'll press this little bugger open. And month 11 will then be done. Flip it over and repeat the same thing on this side. finger press at those little junctions. Across here, give it the heat. And this one is now done as well. So let me clean up my area. And everything is in just as it should. It's really pretty that we're into the spinning of it. As you can see, it's coming together just like this and coming around. And it's coming around right here. It looks like I should have gotten my seam over a wee little dab right here because of the spin of it, but that is the way the pattern reads. It has that to where it's the sharp turn. So everything has came together really nice for this. So month 11 is now done and we're on the home stretch.